Hey guys, this is Isaac Etter giving you a conclusion to a review of Mass Made Simple by Dan John. So today I just want to talk about what happened as far as weight gain, body fat increases that I saw, talked about what worked, the challenges that I faced in the workout, and then just kind of show you what a typical workout day looks like, and then give you a summary as well. So the book was great, the workout was simple, and I thought it was pretty well structured. It's very simple, which makes it easy on a lot of us that have busy work days. And it's just brainless. You know, you don't really have to think too much about how much weight you should increase or not increase, because Dan John kind of walks you through it. And I made some modifications to the squats as I went through, because I knew that I could handle a little bit more than he recommended. But really, besides that, I stuck with a program. At the very end, there was one day that I did a Sunday workout instead of a Saturday workout, because of the way that he has you do 1 day workouts on and then 2 days off. But I'll get more into that in a sec. So weight gained. In 6 weeks I gained 15 pounds, and that was being very dedicated to my eating. If you watch the second video that I did of the review, I showed what I ate, talked about how much I ate. And it takes a lot, and Dan John in the beginning of the book kind of talks you through that you need to eat, and you need to eat like an adult. So stop eating candy, stop eating cake and stuff like that. You need real food, obviously protein, lean protein, carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables. So I gained 15 pounds. With that, I knew I'd gain a little bit of body fat, and it was actually less than I thought. I only gained 1.6% of body fat. I went from 7.7 up to 9.4, and really I didn't notice much besides maybe a little extra pudge right here below the belly button, but I think that's just typical across the board for most people if you're gaining weight. Besides that, I felt really strong. I felt like my legs got a lot bigger, my back got stronger, bench press went up. I was started at 175 for sets of 5, and I finally went up to 225 for sets of 5, which I haven't been focusing on bench lately, so that was pretty good for me to jump up that much and hit all 5 reps easily. What worked? I think I said the simplicity was what worked. The forced rest days are what worked. A lot of us, when we're thinking bulking up, we want to do day after day after day of lifting because we want to stimulate our body to do that. But for the program, it's actually 1 workout day and then 2 days off, next workout day, 2 days off, where the first day is a complete rest day after your workout, and then the following day is active rest. And since I teach group exercise classes, I would just kind of exercise a little bit more with the group and call that my active rest days, not picking up too heavy of weights, kind of focusing more on participating in the stretching and the foam rolling rather than any of the lifts. Besides that, he gives you recommendations on food, and he gives you weekly tips on add a protein shake in the morning, add a protein shake at night, one right before your workouts, and then he has you rank those at the end of the 6 weeks as far as what you felt did the most toward your weight gain or towards your lifts. And so I think I ranked having a protein shake in the morning as the best one. That made me feel the best in my workouts, and I also saw the highest weight gain that week once I added in that challenge. Challenges, what I struggled with was the squats. Definitely hitting 50 squats in a row the first time was really rough, and then you progress up from there. And he tells you gotta hit 50 multiple days, but you do up to 50 reps. So the first day I did 225, or excuse me, the first day I did 205. I only got maybe 20 or 30 reps in a row, and then I tried to build on that as I went through the week. So maybe week 3 was the first attempt at 205, which was my highest weight for 50 reps and what I finished with. And that was pretty tough the first time, but I just added a little bit more each time. So I did 30 reps in a row, 10, 10, then I did 35, 10, 5, and so on and so forth, until I finally, the last day I hit 205 pounds for the 50 reps in a row nonstop. So felt really good about that. The other challenge was, like I said, I was skipping around on the weights for some of the squat days, and he recommends certain weights based off of how much you weigh. So I was in the 185 to 200 bracket, I believe, and some days he said that I should only use 205, and I'd actually bump up into the higher weight group like 205 and above, or 200 pounds body weight and above. and I did the 225 for a set of 20. And one day, I don't know if it was just an off day, but it gave me a pretty bad headache. By like rep 17, 18, 19, 20, I just felt like a lot of blood rushing to my head. I didn't pass out, I didn't have any blackout periods, it just gave me a headache that kind of stuck around for a day or two. So word to the wise, just be careful with how much weight you're doing, don't go too crazy. Workout overview, so I'm going to flip this open. This is just a random day. He labels them, week 1, Sunday, tells you what day that you're lifting. This was training day 3, so we're still not in some pretty heavy weights, but he gives you general warm-up ideas, some movement walking on a treadmill or riding a bike, some foam rolling, which I'm a big fan of. Static stretching, I don't know if this was more popular back when Dan John wrote the book, but I would prefer doing more dynamic stretching where you're moving through the stretches rather than long, slow holds, but I still did a little bit of both. And then just some easy kettlebell swings, goblet squats, and like marching, skipping, whatever. And I typically just grab the 20 kilo and do 10 kettlebell swings, 10 goblet squats, and then I just do a couple marches, a couple sprints across the gym. Nothing too crazy, just to get blood flow going, so I have a light sweat by the time I start. You start with bench press every single day. He likes to do the 2-3-5 rep there. So each set you're doing 2-3-5, and then you rest for a little bit, 2-3-5, rest a little, and again. Each day varies. There's a couple days where you worked up to a 2-rep max. There's a couple days where you work up to a 5-rep max. And like I said, I started with 175 and it was pretty tough, and then I bumped up to 225 by the end. Bat wings are where you're laying on your stomach and you're pulling dumbbells up from the ground and pinching your shoulder blades together and retracting them as tight as you can. And typically you're holding for 5-second holds or 10-second holds, and you're trying to progress your weight throughout the program, and he tells you when you should up your weight. And so that was kind of nice. It worked well with the volume that he did for other exercises. One arm presses, those were pretty tough, and I actually really love them now. I give them to a lot of my clients because it really targets core activation and keeping your body in a nice tall position while doing overhead presses strictly. Again, 2-3-5 combo for most of these days for that overhead press, and he didn't actually have you go up in weight a lot for those, so it was kind of nice that you chose a good weight and then you stuck with it for most of the sequence. Bird dog is just what I call quad opposites. You're on your hands and knees, right arm goes forward, left leg kicks back. I did three rounds of 10-second holds, so I'd hold with my right hand, left leg kick back for 10 seconds, switch, and go back and forth 3 times. Complexes were a beast, but I love them. It's where you do 6 exercises in a row and they do not change, and you do them back to back for 3 or 5 reps, and he gives you a certain number of rounds, 2, 3, 5. And they're pretty tough. By the end, once you start adding some extra weight on there, you're sweating by the time you get to good mornings and you're excited to set the weight down. High rep back squats, obviously this is like the big key part of bulking up for this program. And you start with just a couple sets of 30 reps with light weight, and then you keep adding more weight until you're up to 50 reps. And like I said, there's a couple days where I believe there are back off recovery days where you went down to just 20 reps, but that's where I made the mistake of going up to 225 and pushing it. And then once you're done with that, you just do a cool down. Typically I just foam roll, or I manage a fitness center, so I'd kind of organize equipment and count that as my cool down, just walking around and trying to stretch my hamstrings when I pick stuff up off the floor, and just be careful carrying things around. And then at the end, I like the nutritional compliance. You just have to answer yes or no. Did you get more protein in that day? Did you eat more fiber? And did you get your fish oils in? 3 things that he promotes as a week by week challenge. And then, like I said, each week he has you either add protein to your breakfast, add protein right before your workout, and so on and so forth. And then if you look on the left sheet here, he also has areas where you can record what you did on your rest days and on your active recovery, or what he calls recharge days, excuse me. And I just got in the habit of writing down what I ate and the time I ate it, just to make sure that I didn't forget to eat my meals or my snacks, and it was just good to see like how I did throughout the workouts. And then you can see here, on one of my recovery days I did paragliding. Other times I just say, hey, I did the core and movement class, or I just moved a little bit more or whatever. And then did you do your nutritional compliance? And I obviously missed here. You know, I wasn't perfect filling everything out, but I think it was good. So that's basically what it looks like. Every day is the same type of workout here, except for the sets and reps change, and he might tell you to go up in weight. At the beginning of the book here, he goes through week by week what you want to be adding in there, and then he also goes into day by day, and he breaks down exactly what to expect, how to do each movement, and then if you should be increasing weight and by how much, and then he breaks down how you're doing the sets of 50. So overall, it's really simple. I thought it was a great program. I'm happy with gaining 15 pounds. Now I've actually lost a couple because I haven't been doing the high rep back squats since I finished. I'm on a new program, which I'll probably start recording some new videos for. A friend and I, or a coworker and I, have been working on a program that's functional bodybuilding, so we're doing some isolated muscle movements, but we're also combining it with, you know, full body movements, front squats, step ups, bench press, stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments feed about anything that I missed or I didn't touch on. It's a cheap $20 for a great program, something that you can keep with you and maybe once a year cycle through if you feel like you want to just gain some quick weight for 6 weeks. I think 6 weeks is a great amount of time to challenge yourself, to eat a ton of food, to afford the higher cost of groceries, and then once you're done, you can move on to something else. And obviously this program doesn't have any like rotational movements or a lot of single arm or single leg movements besides the one arm overhead press, but I think you can avoid doing that for 6 weeks and then add it into your next program as you cycle through, maybe go on to a max strength or a hypertrophy phase that's just different from this moving on. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you soon.